Our top story this morning, the passing of Supreme Court Justice and champion for women's rights, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She passed away at her home in Washington, D.C. due to complications of pancreatic cancer. Justice Ginsburg began her career in the 1950s after graduating at the top of her class from Columbia Law School. In 1993, she was appointed to the High Court by President Bill Clinton, becoming just the second woman to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. Justice Ginsburg was known as a workhorse, working throughout her cancer treatment in 1999 and again 10 years later. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was 87 years old. And joining us this morning is someone who worked for the late Justice Ginsburg from 2014 to 2015, Eli Savit. Thank you so much for making time this morning to speak with us.
Thank you for having me on. I'm glad to be here.
So how did you end up working for Justice Ginsburg?
Well, the way that it works is after law school, you often have an opportunity to work for a judge for a year. It's called a clerkship, if you are extraordinarily lucky and you have the right people in your corner, after you work for one or two judges on a lower court, you might get an opportunity to work for a Supreme Court justice. So, I applied. I was just tremendously fortunate to be selected, and I had an incredible year with Justice Ginsburg, and learned so much just as a lawyer and as a person from her example.
How did you hear about the news of her passing?
I was actually out on a walk, and my phone just started blowing up. I didn't have any advanced notice that she was ill and that her condition was deteriorating. So folks saw the news, and of course a lot of friends just started texting me. So I heard much like everybody else after the Supreme Court put out a statement.
Yeah, she was truly an icon, and she also was a pop culture icon as well. What were some of the things that maybe surprised you about her that folks like me, I wouldn't have known?
Well, there's just so much, and I'll say from a legal perspective, I learned so much from her. She thought carefully about every word that she said, every word that she put down on a piece of paper. It was deliberate, it had meaning, and she always kept the human beings that were involved in a case at the center of it. But she also treated everybody that worked for her like family. Every time that somebody had a birthday in her chambers, a law clerk or a member of her secretarial staff, at exactly 4 o'clock, everybody would stop work and we'd go into the justice's chambers, and she'd have prosecco and she'd have cupcakes, and she would give us gifts, and we'd exchange gifts, and we'd sit around for exactly an hour. We'd talk about law, we'd talk about the news, we'd talk about her beloved opera. I can't overstate enough how much she loved the opera. That's well known, but the depth of it really surprised me. And then at exactly 5 o'clock, it'd be back to work, back to the work of the court. She worked harder than anybody that I've ever known. She would stay up, working until 4 or 5 in the morning, sometimes making sure that her decisions were absolutely right, that every word was in its place. But though we worked incredibly hard, she did everything possible just to treat us like family, and I still consider myself, along with my co-clerks, a part of her extended family.
All right, Eli, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us a little piece of that information we didn't have before.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, thanks so much.
Take care.